The women who are on an average smaller in height and stature and arm length, these rifles are ideal. So as a garrison rifle, they should always be considered. Another option is the M1 carbine, which is available, and in fact, that's in the same family. That's another thing, by the way. This is a carbine. This is the Seminoff carbine. This is not a rifle. A rifle, of course, there was another weapon that was designed bigger than this, a little different action. That was the rifle of this particular family of weapons. This is the SKS
41.
Yes, the SPD. Then the AK was the assault rifle of this particular family of arms for the Russians. But this is a carbine. It serves a particular niche. I can turn around and make this thing into anything I want, really, with all the different add-ons. As you can see right here, this one will take a magazine.
Take a screw in the bottom of it, too, to hold this
for special missions.
Exactly.
Okay, now another thing are handguns. A lot of people ask us about that, too. With regard to handguns, it's a close order weapon. Again, it's because they're too close. I would recommend that even if you have a rifle, if you can afford it, you should have a handgun. Now, there are two schools of thought on this, and we've got to make sure that's corrected. Some people say for every weapon you can carry 2 more magazines. But if the weapon's busted, you can't fight. You ever try to make a handgun out of mud? Doesn't work. So again, by carrying the handgun, you have the option for some form of close order weapon to maintain at least some engagement. In other words, participate in a battle if you are disarmed. So it's best to be carrying some form of small arm. Any caliber, any size, your preference, it's all determined by your pocketbook. I would recommend that preferably be a 38 Special, 357, 9mm, or 45. Those are the 4 basic calibers in the country right now. The other one that's really predominant because it's cheap is the Tokarev cartridge. And 30 caliber Tokarev is very good for penetrating body armor. In fact, it does a very fine job. For whatever reason, it's the original Magnum cartridge of its day. Other calibers are available. Other calibers are accessible. 380 auto, 32s. If somebody gives you something for free, say thank you very much and take it. Which leads us to another thing we discussed earlier on the campfire while we were taking break. If somebody says, oh my God, they're coming for the guns, buy whatever they're stupid enough to sell. Okay? If they want to get rid of it, that's your opportunity to get hold of something that otherwise may not be available on the market. And we want to make
price.
That's right. You demand the price. We expected this to happen. There's going to be a point where, when they make the weapons illegal, people will be trying to get rid of them so that you're stuck with them and they're illegal in your hands. Okay?
You'll see Galil's go down in a hurry.
That's right. Everything will be available. It'll be coming in with certain people, not everybody, with certain people. I also recommend this as a seed to plant, since there's a lot of people here. Why not sponsor a buyback of your own? See, I like this. Conniving minds. You can imagine what we might acquire. And we won't accept everything either. We only want the working guns, but for a different reason, right?
Parts 2.
Oh, that's right. Parts 2. Up where we are, they're not paying cash right now. What they're doing is saying they'll give you a food certificate or a shoe certificate. Well, all you got to do is offer them $50 or $75 cash before they get into the door where the food certificate is, and trust me, they'll give it to you. So you might consider rallying some of the troops, putting a little bit of a fund together when the time comes, and then using it accordingly. Oh, okay. Okay, very quickly, this is something we just didn't have as a prop here a moment ago. And it's locked up.
It won't fall. It's got a pin.
Okay, it's got a pin. That's good.
Not in violation of it.
That's right.
22 off.
It's safe.
You should put a 6-penny nail in it.
Okay.
It's got a screw in it.
This is one of the Zykel nylon stocks that's available, and it's fixed, of course, because we wouldn't want to worry about violating law. And why are so many laws nowadays? This particular stock is nice in that you can beat the snot out of it. I don't want to scuff it, but you can run over it with a vehicle, and chances are, when after you do, you can come back. It'll be functional. They are not affected by weather rot. They are very, very durable with regard to heat, so that when you are firing large numbers of rounds through the weapon, supercharging does not take place, and the device will not melt, or in some cases the stocks that are wooden, flash fire. So that should be considered also. Again, you can also make effective clubs out of these things. You beat the snot out of somebody and it doesn't bend. Anybody who knows what it's like to hit with a billy club understands how that works.
That makes a good skull buster because
Yes.
there's points on it.
So,
The weapon by about 2 pounds.
there were several questions that were asked, and we started to answer, but I think I'll follow through on with regard to the stickers. We're going to back up a little bit here now. With regard to the stickers that were found on signs, in most of the areas that we've seen these things, they are leading up to areas where there are either military structures or there is original information on predetermined detention areas. In our area, we have several routes that we've followed to those sites. So keep that in mind. The other thing that we have to deal with regard to the camps is identifying all of their secondary sites and pickup points. That's why we have the weapons to stay out of those things. Also, if somebody is put into them, we plan on getting them out. We don't leave any patriots in there to rot. Another thing is a nice way to collect more weapons, okay? We always look at every attack as a way to resupply, right? It's not a negative incident, it's a positive incident. Now, with regard to the camps, there are 3 different types that we're seeing. Some are very heavily hardened, in other words, very heavily secured. Others are intermediate activity areas where they have double cordon wire. They're set up as the traditional concentration camps that you saw of Stalag 17 during World War II, etc. And then there are...
America.
Yes. Yes. And then there are other detention facilities that are single wire, that are smaller compounds. Their mission is temporary holding for processing and sorting. Of the camps that we've identified, we have 3 or 4 that are primaries. We can identify, sounds like almost 20 to 30 positively, that are intermediate facilities. And the temporary sites are popping up left and right all over the country, and people are sending us reports in almost as quickly as it happens. Again, Bob Dole probably said it best here just a few short weeks ago when they were talking about the crime bill. In the crime bill, it states that 10 regional detention facilities are authorized in addition to everything else that we know about. I do not believe that those are new. What I believe is that this is overt funding for the 10 sorting facilities, 1 for each region of the United States. Yeah, there you go. I don't think they plan on, and in fact, if you remember, Hillary Clinton states that they want 30% reduction immediately in the American population. The Rockefellers and Rothschilds have said they want as high as 75% by the year 2008. So what we're talking about is they're going to have to come up with a quote-unquote final solution for the problem.
In a hurry.
And it has to be in a hurry, that's right. So what we're looking at is a direct threat against us. And again, as I said, if they're talking about 75% of the population, I would say that anybody here with the gray hair isn't going to be around much longer if they have their way. So we got to protect them. I would say that anybody with a negative attitude towards centralized government's going to be in trouble, and I think that's the rest of us, so we're all on the list.
I cry for my country, for the pain that it's been through. She's been made to suffer for the profit of a few. Storm clouds are forming, winds of change now touch our shores. Our forefathers are crying as the dream's been crucified.